Welcome to this video tutorial for the lead guitar parts in the song I Want to Know You by CityAlight. I recently started making videos just for myself as reminders of the lead parts that I need to remember for the worship songs I do in my church, and I thought I may as well put these up on the internet in case there's anyone else who plays lead guitar in their church and who might need some help learning some of these songs. So with no further ado, let's get started looking at the lead parts for I Want to Know You. Okay, so this song is in the key of G, and you're going to want to learn a lead line that'll go over the intro and the outro and some of the breaks in the middle. Now we start that lead line on a G note, which we'll play on the 5th fret on the D string, and I typically use my second finger to press that down. So we're starting 5th fret on the D string, then we're moving up 2 frets to 7, then 9, then way up to 17, 16, 14, 12, 17, 19. Okay, so I'll play that all together, and we're playing these all on the same string, which is a little bit unusual, but it allows us to get some nice slide sounds. Okay, so that's the line. It sounds really good when you have just a little bit of drive and just a little bit of delay as well. So if you have some of those pedals, it'll be good to get those out for this song. Now, one other reason why it's good to play this all on that D string is that it keeps the G string free for you to pluck in between those notes that you're playing pressed down. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to hit the note and then hit the open G. And I think that's what they do in the original, and I think it sounds really good. So that's something that you can add to it. Once you've practiced that lead line and you've got the hang of it, you can then practice going between the pressed down note and the open G. Okay, so I've made a little backing track so that I can show you how it sounds to play that lead line over the chords, which are G and C. So the first time through, I'm going to play it just as the single notes. Then the second time through, I'm going to show you how it sounds with that open G coming into play. Okay, so I'm going to hit play, step back, and show you how that sounds. Okay, so from that point, I would sit back and let the rhythm guitar take over for the verses. Now between verse 1 and 2, you'll play that lead line once through, and then from verse 2 into the chorus, I would play something a little bit like this. And then that'll lead into the chorus. Okay, to give you a little bit of a better idea at what I was just doing, I've brought the guitar a little bit closer. So I was playing, it's basically a G, so I've got my ring finger down on the 9th fret on the D string, then I've got my first finger holding down the 7th fret, it's just barring down actually, and then on the B string I've got my second finger on the 8th fret, and that gives me these notes. And so I was just plucking those out, and then also then adding my pinky to go from 9 to 10. And I think that sounds really good for this part. It's like going from a G to a C or just to a G suspended. You can play it here. I'm playing it here because when I get to the chorus, this is the area of the neck I want to be in. But if it's easier for you, you can think about it as being the same notes that are in the high section of a G bar chord. And then you can just add your ring finger to that there. Okay, so that's what I would play between verse 2 going into the chorus. So we're now up to the chorus, and I'm going to show you what I think you should play over that section. Now this isn't necessarily note for note exactly how CityAlight does it, but it's as close as I could figure out. So I'm going to show you this one with the backing track. We're starting with this note. let me give you a little bit of a better look at what I was doing just then. I was using my third finger to press down the 8th fret on the B string, and with my second finger I was pressing down the 7th fret on the E string. So I'm focusing on the higher strings and the higher notes during this section. So I was strumming that shape, so that's giving me the notes G and B, which fit into the G chord. They also fit into the E minor chord, so I also play that shape when we move to the E minor. Now when I play the C, I just add my pinky to the high E string, so that I'm then holding down 8, 8, and that sounds good over the C chord. And then I go back to the G shape, and then as I said, when we go to the E minor, we stay in that shape. And then again the C, so we put our pinky down. And then when we go to the D, I'm first of all playing it with a G, and then resolving that by going then to the F sharp, which is the 7th fret, rather than the 8th. Okay, so that's the first half of the chorus. Then the second half, we go to G again, and then C again, and then E minor, which is the same shape as the G in this case. And then I'm moving down the neck so that I can have this rise up to the conclusion to the chorus, where I hit 5 on the B and 3 on the E, and then just shift that same shape up for the D chord, 2 frets, and then back to that G shape that we did at the very start. Now with those different shapes, you can strum it, which I did in the demonstration, but it also depends. If you want a slightly different sound, you could just hit it really evenly. Or if you want a bit of a quieter tone, you could also just pluck it. Like that. So there are a few different options there for the chorus. We're now up to the bridge, which is the last section that you need to learn to know each of the sections of the song. Now in the lead up to the bridge, you'll just play the start of the lead break, but then you'll leave it there and it'll go into the bridge. Now in the bridge, we're going to go even higher up the fretboard, and we're going to play something like this. And we're going to play that 3 times and then finish with. So I'll show you how to play that in more detail now. Now let's take a closer look. So we're starting the bridge in the same position as we started the chorus. So we've got the 8th fret on the B pressed down and the 7th fret on the E pressed down, which sounds like this. And it gives us the notes G and B. And that fits over E minor, which this starts on. And you keep it when the rhythm guitar goes to the G. And then when they go to a C, we slide this up and we keep the same fingering, but now we're pressing down 13th on the B string and 12th on the E string, which sounds like this. And then we shift down so that we're pressing down 12th fret on the B and 10th fret on the E, like that. And we do that 3 times. So 3 times doing that. And then on the final line of the bridge, I would use my index finger to bar down 8, 8, which are the notes G and C. So we go and then shift it up 2 bars, and then back to what we started on. Okay, so let me play the backing track, and I'll play those shapes over that backing track. So those are the different things that you need to know in order to play I Want to Know You. Now keep in mind that these things should be seen just as a guideline. You need to have a go at playing them, see what works best for you, see what works best in your church context, and do what you think is best. Okay, but hopefully that's given you some ideas of some things you can practice, some things that you can try out if you're doing this song in your church. Okay, and if you feel up to it, I'm going to play a little bit of it and you can try to play along.